Today we will be doing the percent water in a hydrate lab. A hydrate is a crystalline substance that has water molecules embedded within its structure. It remains a solid even though it has H2O in it. But what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that H2O that's embedded within the structure by heating our sample. By doing that, we can figure out the percentage of the structure that was actually water. When theoretically determining the percent water in a hydrate, what we do is we look at its formula and then we calculate the molar mass for the whole hydrate. We figure out what percentage of that mass is from H2O. So in this case with magnesium sulfate, the total molar mass was 246 grams per mole and water contributed 126 grams of that. So calculating the percent water, take the mass of water divided by the total mass times 100, or 126 over 246 times 100. So calculating the percent water that should be in your magnesium sulfate heptahydrate would be 51%. Your job in this lab today is to figure out what hydrate you were given. There are 7 possible choices for hydrates that you can do. So what you're going to have to do is perform this task and calculate the percent water that should be in each hydrate. And then you're going to physically perform that on your unknown sample to figure out which one it is. So whichever percent water you get, whichever compound is closest to that, that would be the identity of your hydrate. Alright, so we've weighed the empty crucible and cover and we found that it was 26.09 grams. We added approximately 3 grams of our hydrate to it, and that made the mass go up to 29.04 grams. Now I've set it on the ceramic triangle on our ring stand with a ring, and we have it over our Bunsen burner. I'm going to ignite the Bunsen burner, and that's going to dehydrate the sample. One thing I want you to notice is that I have our crucible cover slightly ajar so that the water has a place to escape. Alright, so here we go. And I want the tip of the inner blue cone to be right near the bottom of the crucible. That will be the hottest part of the flame, and that will do the best job of dehydrating our sample. So now I'm going to let this heat for about 20 minutes, and then we'll take it off and we will let it cool for a few minutes, and then we'll record the mass. And then we're going to heat it a second time to make sure that we got rid of all of the water. If the weight doesn't change, or the mass doesn't change from the first to the second heating, we can be confident that we've eliminated all of the water. However, if it changes, then we have to heat it a third time to make sure we get consecutive constant readings for the mass to know that we've eliminated all the water. Alright, now we've heated our sample for 20 minutes, and I'm going to take it off carefully and place it on the lab bench so that it can cool off. Once it cools off for a few minutes, I'm going to place it on the electronic balance and record the mass. Now I have let the sample cool for several minutes, and I'm going to place it on the electronic balance, and I'm going to record the mass of our contents. It shows here that the mass of our contents is now 28.56 grams. And now we're going to heat it a second time, and we'll see if that mass stays the same. Ready? So now I'm going to place the crucible back on the ceramic triangle safely. Notice I'm moving the crucible separately from the lid. Now I'll place that on. Again, slightly ajar. The water has a place to escape when I ignite it. Now I'm going to turn it back on, heat it for another 5 minutes, and we'll see if the mass stays constant. After letting it cool for several minutes after heating it a second time, we found that the mass was exactly the same, which means that we've eliminated all of the water from our sample. So now you know the mass of the empty container and the mass of the crucible cover and the hydrate. So in order to determine the mass of our hydrate that we originally started with, we would subtract the 26.09 from the 29.04. That would give us our mass of our hydrate. So to figure out what percentage of the hydrate was water, what we need to do is subtract the initial mass and subtract the final mass from our initial mass, and that will get the mass of the water. And from that you can calculate the percent water in the hydrate.